safer and more resilient.
This message is brought to you by XL 106.9 FM.
Let us take a tour to your community and explore every route.
Popular market here, Ukam is being affected
on behalf of the village head of Nkorikana.
From about the Pepsi.
Comprehensive High School.
Let us help present your request to the right authorities.
Primary school.
From Fort to Yongshan down to Akbaden, the road is not good. We suffer a lot, and if you enter bike, the bike will charge.
Join Community Reports Mondays through Fridays from 8:30 a.m. to 9 a.m. Community Report, exclusive to XL 106.9 FM.
Bosses. We preach everywhere because you are evil, making evil decrease. We will rather obey God than man. Go into every boss and preach. Let them arrest us. They will be the one that will go there and they will rot there, and God will judge them. We won't listen to you. You are not God. Who are you? You are there for eternal, and God will wipe all of you out. Those who are promoting that law, God will cut them off. We will rain curses upon you and upon your family except you repent.
Welcome back at Akwa Stage, Nigeria. Thank you very much for staying with us. Super Breakfast Show right here. IG is my name. Now it's time for you to join the conversation. Your reactions to the headlines this morning and the major conversations. There's a lot more that's going on regarding the state policing bill and, of course, things that are being put in place, right? Recent of which being a press conference, which had the chairman of that working group, who doubles as the chief of staff to Mr. President, shed more light on what we're looking forward to in the days to come. And of course, some, things put in place, including the website to entertain the input of Nigerians before that particular brief is being taken to Mr. President in about a month's time, right? And of course, we have Bishop Oke speaking right there once again, the president of the Pentecostal Fellowship of Nigeria, criticizing the National Assembly over the proposed legislation seeking to prohibit preaching in commercial buses. And he says that Christians would continue to evangelize despite that measure. And I remind us that sometime July 17th, 15th, within 15th and 17th, the Nigerian Senate passed the Federal Road Safety Corps Amendment Bill 2026. And that bill has a number of provisions, including the provision proposing a 50,000 naira fine for anyone convicted of hawking, of trading, or preaching inside commercial vehicles. Now, that is what Bishop Oke is reacting to this morning. There's a lot more on the papers, which we will let you in, even as we talk about the political gladiators weighing their options of ex-governors who would fill the campaign DG roles, right? And of course, there is still an ultimatum now given by Labour to the federal government over wage award. That is the Joint National Public Service Negotiating Council, the trade union side, urging the Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of Economy, Taiwo Yodele, to convene an urgent meeting over the delayed payment of 2 months' wage award and the implementation of the 40% peculiar allowance for federal workers. There's also a conversation on the Archbishop Emeritus of Abuja, John Cardinal Onaiken, who has also been in the news, right? Declining to respond to criticisms by the presidency. And he insists that the Catholic bishops have already delivered their message to the president and all that they're involved or interested about, right, is whether it would influence governance. Don't forget, there's been that back and forth. There was an exchange between the presidency and the Catholic Bishops' Conference of Nigeria after the bishops met Mr. President at the State House not too long ago, July 28 precisely, in a bid to present their assessment of the country's economy and security, right? And of course, we saw that interview that the bishop granted, right, where he said, look, we have no intention of engaging in any public exchange with government spokesperson or persons following that meeting we had with Mr. President, right? And that, look, we are not speaking for Catholics only. We are saying that our intervention is based on moral responsibility to Nigerians. So that makes part of the conversation this morning. You join us via WhatsApp 0809 333 1069. That is 0809 333 1069. And of course, don't forget you could send a voice note or a text to that number on WhatsApp. Call us right now 0700 000 1069. That is 0700 000 1069 or 0809 222 1069. Don't forget, we're taking your community report as well as your reactions, but please keep them civil and short. Thank you very much. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, my name is IG. What's yours? Collins. I'm a Sierra. Yeah.
Well, we can come back community in I don't tenant secretarial road. Lumbo, Penny can transform my phone, being my honorable local government chairman. Honorable Kumo, Lumbo, Yarding transform my young in he can. Then game bomb or equal get submitted. IG. I mean, since I say I'm getting bucket, IG butcher. Nigeria is the highest worshippers in the whole world. I mean, marketing board and say, I'm going to the highest worshippers. They worship in your world party. But the same Nigeria, we won't care more if they work one country got the highest worshippers. They got country. And we worship your party, they actually worship. New Zealand, not those countries. Have fun, economy more fun, corruption, insecurity, government in Nigeria, and quality. So, equal the bouquet quarry call is a note to either read young ones or support the call. Even when I extend a 1 radio 4 a.m. 5 a.m. and I write to no work it up in a museum. It's a key quarry call. Equal Bassi, as a man meet again and the no work a quarry call Bassi or for Bassi. Or Buyan in a Puna and the Jack and a good Jehovah witness. If you might get away the mirror, if you from Fufu, he could say, water, if you have paper or football paper. Eddie office, who you found, I'm way I don't go more room or Eddie, you want to know found, I'm way I don't go room of him. And I'm to make promote the kingdom. You don't care what it is like a new book. All right. And I'm pumping.
All right.
Because of what he got pretend.
All right. All right, thank you. So, he's not in support of what the president of PFN is saying, right? But in support of what the Senate did say, but courtesy that amendment. Okay. Good morning to you. Okay, you have to get back with us. Good morning to you.
Hello, good morning. How are you?
Yeah. What's your name?
Yes, I'm a man in your line.
Welcome.
The issue, thank you, sir. The issue of Mr. President's certificate saga. I can quite remember sometime in 2023. By the time the matter was taken to court for it to be cleared, I am telling you, I was watching. He was in Aso Rock, Kamba, and the top of his own state. On the very day the judge was reading the proceeding, you know, his let's cut down. By the time the matter, the case was entered on his own advantage, the man don't have. You know the language that he used. He said, "Yes, that certificate and the nonsense must stop." And all the top members of the state embraced it. They set a party. So now what am I saying? If this man is questionable of certificate, not certificate existed, your primary secondary school, why should Nigeria retain such a person? Why don't you know that it's a very serious disgrace to this nation that we have professors? Which means that somebody with that certificate to come and rule. That's the reason they do what they are doing today. Or not because they lack education morality. They lead this country. That's all for having me. Thank you, sir.
All right. Thank you very much. This sort of takes us back in time once again. Right? There's a saying about history, right? Now, some people hold that history repeats itself, right? But some other people hold that humans repeat history and not the other way around. Well, you understand, there was a very similar conversation in 2023 election where oppositions came out, just like now, to challenge the eligibility of now President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, right? Concerning his filings to INEC and leaving out the primary and secondary education sections blank, instead following up with an affidavit. We understand a number of concerns that came up at that time, and of course the resultant dismissal of the challenges and the unanimous upholding of his election victory. Now, Nigerians are watching once again what happens this time, while some other political parties, we understand, are gearing up to take action beyond just watching. Good morning to you.
Hello, I am
Yeah, I miss you, Rende. Okay, go on. All right. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate your thoughts. And I'm pretty sure the authorities are listening. Good morning to you. Okay, you would have to get back with us. Let's get a few voice notes in. I recall, by the way, there's a conversation that was held recently, and a member of the APC came out to say, look, there is no need to have arguments on whether academic qualifications determine leadership competence, right? That indeed, it does not determine leadership competence. What's his name again? Alwan Hassan, that's his name, yeah. He said, look, academic qualifications, right, do not determine leadership competence. The educational credentials of prominent opposition figures, they've not necessarily translated into better governance or even political judgment for Nigeria. So why make a case about academic qualifications? That's an APC member who is saying so. Good morning to you.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. My goodness, you have to get back with us. Let's get a voice note here on WhatsApp.
Good morning, Excel. My name is Nyabere Berefia from Non-Udoro in your local government. Please, I want to thank my chairman, specifically the chairman of your local government, Dr. Wemedi Modo, for his love to Non-Udoro and your local government entirely, for giving us transformer. After we stayed for almost close to a year without lights, gave us the transformer and there is light in Non-Udoro. God bless the chairman of your local government. God bless Akwa State.
Okay.
Good morning. In the message Godwin. So young famous to your bomb certificate president in a primary senior secondary white. But I repeat later 2023. So you don't think meaning will work at this country. Okay, let's get to we Korea worry. And you know, able for me no contest. I want we can see do happy, you know. Don't the many work even at this country. Make obviously meaning professors, in a doctor, masters. More bang me su yo we bang me lawyer say bang I don't get I'm making verified get this thing. Can get country in the middle country for certificate anyway I confirm me will me certified. I buy nam yaban to don't give the city would be a tonga because saying it on your dam, so ya mass or the oti, so funny bah, a bongo. If you are the
Good morning, XLFM. My name is Iman Levan from Bo, calling here in New York. But I want to commend PhD for the effort they put on light these days. In my street, that is in NFR offering Road 3. Kudos to them, they should put more effort. And then too, my community report also go this way that the Dodoma traffic light has not been working for some days, for weeks now. Our government should look into it. Thank you for having me, Manlefan from Bo.
All right, thank you for your comments. Let's quickly get back on the phone lines. Good morning to you. Good morning. Your call is taken. Speak with us.
IG, good morning.
Yeah, welcome. What's your name?
Okay, my name is Elder Godwin Sambo.
All right, go ahead quickly.
No, I want to commend my village in Nsorobu local government. You don't know the state. Someone to another for over 200 and something years. We need a Taro. Taro, government in a theory. We are very close to we got a program to Nauru. We are the state. We don't have a yes, so we can get someone in the matter. Taro, but now we need to say about more. It's not so, that is the government. We will pay him out. So, you don't have one to sit. I think you didn't have a song on the control room. So, I will go no matter government. So, it's the one. Now, it's wrong. Another song. Someone quite will tell you because you want to chance that type. You got about so far. You got to go on the internet.
All right. All right. All right. Thank you. Good morning. Amesiere. Oh my. Good morning to you. Amesiere. I can hear you. Go on. Oh my goodness. You'd have to get back with us. Amesiere.
Good morning.
Yeah, welcome. What's your name?
My name is Felix. dan ni ka kon ba area ni ko ndo dia ke kala dan ku ya ndo ne ka ja dia go no anam ji tri ron area ya ni ko ndo da dia ni ai ga nam da ya nam na do ma se na do ji dan da ron ya ke government all the government dia ni do dari dan ni ri se ke ku yo ma kan every year they back nhưng cái này thì tôi lại tìm được cái mình kia thì ra mình còn mấy đám đó cái nguồn cái đám đó cái còn ở địa phương mình đó cho cao nó đó cho cao nó cái nó đi biển mình cái ra mình còn mấy đi biển nó kia nó cũng tôi lại tìm được mình cái này đó là cái điều mình phải tìm.
All right, I'm pretty sure the chairman Ibiono has heard that as well.
Good morning, XLFM. I am Nedo Diamond. It may be that I call Idibu, Itatango qualification, say the Neka to Mr. President or presidency. Yaretu report a guy again, Mukisa. It is senator. It is I so many political positions in this country. A week ago, Edita. Certificate maybe you don't go for a free way to I give me. It is 600, 500. And maybe you don't go for a agents me. For one room now, I think 300,000, 200,000. Total package is about 500,000. And you know, be took me room for beginning no. Bondi, song, make Nigeria. I saw you. In the room for the man, I may be right second or waking or but whereas the real things more about second unemployment major problems. So we tang or win a man. So one day I'm agent. After 3 months, said we won't be caught. You say, baby, no talk for Edison. If the town take out okay, Nigeria, that's certificate on Nigerian problem. In Nigeria problem itself.
Oh my, let's see what's going on here. That
antenna. So on back, I mean, gas now we can be tempo. No, it. The dog will make a packet of cook. Then Mama put a 200, 15. Came Menus on me before Canada. If we don't so on pump, go with a tank or certificate. Certificate, no certificate, I tell you, as you are full. A man and I'm non woman.
Okay. Diamond says for her, in her opinion, this certificate talk, this qualification talk, no be waiting be a problem. Say make price of fuel come down, make cost of living come down. 9 billion. Good morning to you. I'm taking your call. Speak.
Hello, good morning, sir.
Yeah, my name is IG. What's your name? Hey. Good morning.
IG man, what's your name?
I'm Serende.
Move on, Zena, can walk. Elder Abamete, Econo, and me, Sabakamaka. IG.
Yes, sir.
What is it getting a young woman, your work? Ira president Tinubu Miro president Ram Agero was senator. Ingom Monowe Market. I don't senator, I did governor. Monowe Market. As Zaran de Aine, a young Boriro and Moro Aine young Pana. Infinam Nagari Jangavan Boro. Yabi Hero, income more by Bejanga. I will young Eddie Jango certificate. Certificate in Jaja. Income more. Ebe bukan president ni nama abu, usina yero bukara ada abu kan ni ija, abi ni ciuki, ciye nonyan refinery, ciya, pagiri ba, uji kora kebejang, ibu benda jepit kebejang, jepit kebejang for what? Ibu bukan ye nam nom kau mengurwa, no wood semen, ibu semen, kan nam sebenan jana abu upok, abu orang, ket, ibu yes. From no president, some of no Lord say governor. I think
okay. Thank you. And this. Thank you. Thank you. This is getting really interesting. So there are people who have the opinion that look, make everybody does move on, certificate or no certificate. After all, the man has been a senator. The man here being Mr. President has been a senator, right? So how could he have become a senator? That's on one hand. That's one opinion I'm deducing, right? And some other people are saying, look, even with the certificate, these academic or educational qualifications, they don't determine whether a leader is competent, right? That one is according to a member of the APC, Alwan Hassan. He says that educational, even the prominent opposition figures, Peter Obi and host of others, their credentials, their education credentials, right? They've not necessarily translated into better governance. He even had to call out the former president, Goodluck Jonathan. He says that his doctorate degree, that of Labour Party, right? His university degree, they've not necessarily produced any significant national transformation. That's where we're at right now. And we want to hold our leaders accountable tomorrow, right? We want to have better governance. We want to have a government that is made up of people who have intellectual, good capacity, institutional understanding of systems and how they should work in a country, right? We want that. I believe we want that, right? I'll take a breather right now. Aquabum, stay with us.
106.9 powered to excel.
All our education.
Etinan Institute All Students Association, Etinosa, invites all students to her monthly general meeting scheduled to hold this Sunday, being the second Sunday of the month. Venue, Eternal Seed Nursery and Primary School, 168 Accra Road, Uyo, Akwa Ibom State. Time, 4 p.m. prompt. Come let us charge a way forward for our alma mater. Invite your classmates. Great Etinosa, great. Announcer, Reverend Efretwe Uya Akadu, International President, Akan Ekpenyong, Publicity Secretary.
True as vindication to enfranchise men.
Anyone that is a call of evil for your life, the high priest of that altar and the agent that contracted you to that altar, all three of them are roasted by fire in the name of Jesus.
Dunamis International Gospel Center, Uyo Central, invites you to her 12th anniversary celebration 2026 with the theme Conquering New Frontiers. Ministering in word, Pastor David Majiyebo, Pastor Olusegun Ayodele, Pastor Beth Oche, and Pastor Peter Enenche. Ministering in songs, Owi Abutu, Blessed Etukudo, David Mago, and Dunamis Voice International. Date from the 10th of August to the 16th of August 2026. Venue, Dunamis International Gospel Center, Uyo Central, number 15 Ikpa Road, opposite Unios Town Campus, Uyo, Akwa Ibom State. Time, 5:30 p.m. daily, and Saturday, 6:30 a.m. morning dew. Sunday, 7 a.m. Come, let's conquer together. Pastor Emmanuel and Mrs. Joyce Okaja, State Pastor, host.
Because it's good for stronger health. What do you need? Amatem, fast relief. If malaria disturb you with Amatem, no issue. Oh, only the best. Oh, Amatem soft gel. Fight malaria, no stress. Oh, Amatem soft gel.
When malaria show, no time to talk. Amatem soft gel na the odogu, only the best.
Royal Line Technologies. People wey sabi say phone where Royal Line no get does not exist. Them sabi say before they get phone problem, Royal Line Technologies Limited don't already get solution for them. Royal Line Technologies Limited, we don't almost old like GSM technology for Nigeria, then get grace to make communication easy for country people. They don't stock every kind phone and accessories, and their price is correct well. And even if your money no complete, Royal Line Technologies get easy buy. We go allow you drop small money, carry phone go house, pay small till you pay finish. Every phone where Royal Line they sell get warranty. If you buy phone carry go house and small time the phone begin behave like say in brain get knocking sound, Royal Line go repair and give you or give you brand new phone for free. No use your money take do tumbo for phone and accessory matter. Take waka enter any Royal Line shop where you sabi, and any phone and accessories where you find, you go see them for there, or you call them for 0701 0007 373. Royal Line is good all the time.
The future isn't waiting, and neither should you. Project New Nigeria is empowering young Nigerians to lead, vote, and build the nation they deserve. Through voter education and educational support, we are reminding every student that your PVC is your voice, your power, and your future. Powered by the vision of its founder, Samuel Kali Inzidi, Project New Nigeria has already awarded 500 full tuition scholarships, invested 40 million naira in education, and presented 42 iPads to students across the Niger Delta. Akwa Ibom State, get ready. Project New Nigeria is coming to the University of Uyo on Thursday, 6th August by 1 p.m., bringing 200 full tuition scholarships, laptops, iPads, and opportunity that can transform lives. Don't miss this opportunity to be informed, inspired, and empowered. Project New Nigeria, empowering students, inspiring leaders, building a new Nigeria.
Radio for a better tomorrow. XL 106.9 FM. Radio for a better tomorrow. XL 106.9 FM. Radio for a better tomorrow.
106.9 Powered to XL.
Excellent and good morning, Aija Akuri. My name still remains Engineer Lido Emmanuel Rofia. Mbok, my community reporter, Tangabang, Honor Equality TV on Ibumbok. The Bay Chairman, if you know, and the governor of Aquaibum said, no one can get transformed again in Ega over 4 years now. And no good road. We don't have even street light in that environment. I'm my one in Kenya, so I have a say on the vocal studio.
Good morning, IG. My name is Gunius Okono, known as the Tigers Global. Let me join you quickly. IG, about the revealing of the 2007 law that the Senate went back to review about stopping people to preach in public bus and selling in public transportation, and people are clapping and they give reason that many people in the public transportation are not Christian, some are Muslim. It's a very good reason, but we don't understand what the Senate are trying to do. There will be time that we will understand, okay, this was the reason that they were doing this. In some northern part of Nigeria, they have stopped education because of insecurity. And in future, there will be a time that there will be no education in the northern part. Western education. Now we are clapping and that they have stopped preaching in the bus. No problem. Time will come that we will understand what they are doing.
And you look at the president's form, primary school, nil. Secondary school, nil. Then university graduate. How? Now, this is what is presently in the file of INEC of our current president. How? What kind of a country is this? 2027, ladies and gentlemen, let us vote for competence. Let us vote for character, not a school for job.
All right, that's the presidential candidate of the ADC. He says, let us vote for competence. Meanwhile, Hassan of the APC says, educational qualification does not guarantee competence. That's on the ongoing conversation that has trailed the lack of citing of the primary and secondary education qualifications of Mr. President, following the documents made public by INEC very recently. That was on Saturday, and it has had Nigerians talking and even revisiting 2023 once again, and the conversations that trailed his victory at the time. We'll be having a conversation still along the lines of our preparedness as Nigerians for elections, and the conversation today, I beg of us, let's not be tempted to see it as one of those conversations we usually have, right? This is part of the conversations that make our thought framing as a radio station, because we're bracing up for the elections just as you are, right? And it is our belief that we as Nigerians, at the end of the day, through our decisions, collective decisions, can speak a different tone in how we approach elections in 2027. And that includes our participation, what we do as the electorate. There is the contradiction that usually follows elections in our country. And that contradiction stems from one of the actions that some of us, we Nigerians, usually put up at the polls. Yeah. It's one that, for some reason, has become a very crucial element of conversations in build-up to elections in our country. Perhaps, I would say, there is no greater contradiction in our democracy than we, the same citizens who spend 4 years lamenting bad roads, failing hospitals, insecurity, unemployment, rising poverty, right? We, the same citizens, are in some cases willing to exchange the only instrument that is capable of changing that reality. Your vote, my vote, our vote, for a few thousand naira. In some cases, for a few cups of rice. In some cases, cups of beans. And some other staples, as it were. And I had to make that, that point clear before just a few seconds ago. There is going to be that temptation for us to say, oh, it's the same conversation on vote buying in the country. After all, it's what happens. It doesn't have to be that way, because this is not, it's not simply an electoral issue. It's a national conversation about accountability, about civic responsibility, about our culture when it comes to politics. So we find ourselves in a cycle where every elections we condemn the politicians for buying votes, yet we pay far less attention to the other side of that transaction, because someone must be willing to sell before another person can buy. So we'll try to make sense of that situation, what keeps us in that loop, and of course, how we can dig ourselves as Nigerians out of that pit. Precisely, it is one that we put ourselves over and over again, year after year, election after election, precisely, in our dear country. So, a good thing this morning I'm being joined by one man who pays keen attention to conversations when it comes to decision making in elections. He is a public affairs commentator and a political analyst. You can safely put him as one of those people in the civil society that is keen on advocacy for human rights and our democracy. I'm talking about Citizen MKO. Thank you so much for joining us.
So good to be here. Thank you very much.
Happy new month and a happy new year.
Absolutely.
I should put it that way.
Thank you so much.
Citizen, before we even begin to discuss politicians, I'd like for us to begin with the Nigerian voter.
Yeah.
Elections are supposed to be one moment where the ordinary citizen becomes the employer and the politician becomes the applicant. Yet somehow that relationship has been reversed over years.
Absolutely.
So we see many voters asking who is paying. How did we arrive at this point, citizen, where voting has become more of a commercial transaction rather than a civic responsibility?
Well, thank you for bringing me on the talk. And I'm trusting God is going to add value, because the times that we are in requires every hands to be on deck. This is a very critical conversation. It is more critical when you judge by the fact that we are supposed to run what is called democracy. Simply means government by the people. It makes the people the true leaders, who just select one of their own to be a servant leader. That presupposes that sovereignty belongs to the people, even as is stated in the Constitution.
Right.
But sadly, over time, we are going from bad to worse. And even the quality of leadership is something that somebody once used the term, and I will never forget it. He called it cascading mediocrity. From one leadership that seems to do well, but with some failings here that are obvious, the person don't want to change, the next person that comes become worse. So the cascading mediocrity now took on another life of its own. It changed democracy from what it's supposed to be to any of the two. You have monarchy ruled by the king, and which I have used this term at some other platform that I've spoken, that in Nigeria, even in states, even in local government, we don't seem to run democracy. We now run monarchy, because the chairman or the governor or the president is seen as everything. His body language is read and interpreted anyhow they want, and the people who are his loyalists, they run with it, and they want to compel everybody to align, because this is what the leader says. And you go to even the House of Assembly, even National Assembly, like here, we have the term called a table there.
United.
No, it's beyond united. United has its own different definition by my standard. Yeah, because we need to be able to understand. Otherwise, you will fall victim. You wouldn't be able to speak for yourself. Talking about speaking for people. We speak for people in open forum. And then, what was I saying? The leader's body language becomes the rule, the constitution. And because poverty has become a weapon, poverty is a tool, what now happens is that government introduces rationing everything, including what is called the food for the poor. And in Akwa Ibom State, for instance, we have about almost 2.5 million people in what is said to be the social register, which has not been updated. I don't know anybody on my streets who is in that register, and there are very poor people there. Poor people, real poor people that you yourself you feel. So if we have in a register 2.5 million poor people, and like the current food rationing that is going on with 10 kg, and you see a commissioner squatting on the ground to take a picture with physically challenged person who should otherwise have been told or been given a wheelchair that she needs more than even the rice, along with the rice and even empowerment, you know that this is a weapon, and the people who have been so reduced would not have any option. Why? Those coordinating them are well-to-do, but they are worse than the vulnerable ones, because they themselves don't have a voice. They don't. Even you call them political leader, you call them stakeholders, it's just a meal ticket to attend meetings, not to contribute. I've spoken with some of them. Some of them make confessions. They make confessions. They talk with their persons. They exclaim. They confess. But why? They can't say anything because they can't withstand being hungry if government does not, if you're not part of the government, or what they call government, as if government is exclusive club. The government belongs to the people.
So you're saying that what has taken us to this part of the conversation of vote buying happens even before the elections?
No, far beyond the elections, but it's even worse than that. That's why we need tremendous level of citizenship education and enlightenment. Politicians, particularly the corrupt ones and the ones that don't have anything to offer, but they have worked themselves to a position of authority and remain there. They keep being recycled. Liabilities being recycled year in, year out. They don't want to drop out from there because there are no new citizens created in communities. You have my local government, your local government, the same people, and those that have consolidated, they don't want to change. And they are not even contributing to the leader. Why? Because Napoleon is always right. So it becomes a thing that requires intellectual revolution, where you have to tell these people who are being used and abused that your vote is not just your thumb. They have turned the thumb to the stomach now. People vote with their stomach. One, because they have lost confidence in government. If you don't take what is being given, the people will still do anything. You will lose. And the worst part is that because of the level of coordination that has taken place now, you will end up swimming against the tide. And in the entire community, you may just be very few, or you may even be alone, like some of us that people are saying that what is wrong with him and all of that. So a number of people don't want to be alone. They just go along with the wave. And that is the biggest problem because they have lost their humanity.
I'd like to stay there for a bit because that has been a major reference in the conversation of vote buying in Nigeria. Because there are people who argue that it is unfair to blame poor people for accepting money when many of them are unemployed. When some are barely struggling to feed their families and even have completely lost faith in some cases, right, in governments. Now, there's some other people who insist that, look, poverty may explain vote selling, but it cannot justify it. Where do you stand on that debate?
Nothing justifies vote selling. And there are cultures in different climes. There are cultures. We in Akwa Ibom State, like somebody tried to mock us. He did that very terribly, and it was wrong when he said that Akwa Ibom people, they are very poor. They will eat rice without meat, and then they come and ask you, what did you eat? That was an insult. All-time insult. Why? A typical Akwa Ibom person is not just proud because he's arrogant. He is proud of who he is, and they have a saying, I was born to hear it. No way any song is that. Yeah, I may be poor, but I would never sell my conscience. Our people didn't used to steal. They didn't used to deceive people, but that strange culture has been brought in. Royalty is where when you go, in fact, when we were children, I'm happy I grew up both in the village and I went to the city. The village head, the house, the compound, or what we call the palace, when you are passing there, you respect the environment because you know that that's where power resides. And if there's any issue that gets there, you get justice. But is that what is applicable? No. Why? Because there is over-politicization of every realm, every strata, including the traditional institution, including the religious institution, so that there is nowhere you can go to and be sure of justice. Look at just what just happened, that the Catholic bishops who have a tradition, you have never, except you may prove me otherwise, even in this state, seen the gathering of politicians where we have several, I don't want to call them by whatever type, the bishops, prelates, and all of that. They are there in party partisan party meetings. They are the one that do the opening prayer, do the closing prayer, and do the endorsement and all of that. You don't see Catholic bishops do that. But they speak to every administration. What do they say? Not praise singing. They'll praise you what you've done. And they'll tell you what is wrong. Why? Leadership is supposed to solve problems. It's not for praise singing, which is what is the latest opium. Even in Akwa Ibom State here, the psychophancy industry has been raised to the point that it is not a pandemic, it is a plandemic. And if we don't do something about it, I tell you, our youths, including our elders, would never be able to speak in the Committee of State. Why? They have been programmed, not just programmed, indoctrinated, not to say, not to ask question, not to raise your hand in a gathering where somebody like the governor does. I commend His Excellency. He's not the first person that started that. Everyone that started that, calling for a meeting to present his scorecard, examine me, review. He does that. Even if it's meant to say, oh, that be part of a routine. No. He has institutionalized it. So even if he has his own failings too, it is the responsibility of sane leaders, the civil society, the media, to ask questions, the right questions, and demand for answer. And I tell you, the man that asks a question, like in exams, has the answer as well, except where the thought has not been well groomed. But like we do in open forum, we say we're about people, issues, ideas, and solutions. So what do? There are certain things that have to be corrected so that the leadership can gain more acceptability, more accolades. But guess what? For you to ask a question, just a simple question, you're not even trying to expose corruption, or just clarification, and somebody convulse. So it is so terrible that if we do not intentionally let our people know that you cannot promote the industry of psychophancy, praise singing in the current Nigeria, Akwa Ibom may become history on national issues because you will never have the capacity
now
to speak out, and that makes us more than vulnerable. It makes us an endangered species.
Citizen, one of the greatest misconceptions Nigerians have is believing that the 5,000 naira, 10,000 naira, in some cases 30,000 naira collected at the polling unit is free money. Now, there are analyses that have, gone as far as showing that, look, that money is not free money. It is an advance payment. And here is why. Because the contract begins after the elections, right? When the roads are abandoned, when hospitals remain unequipped, when schools deteriorate, and even when contracts are inflated. So, at that point, citizens are unknowingly repaying or paying back, right? That 5,000 naira many times over. But now, what beats imagination is that with this understanding out there, it's been, sampled in different forms over time by analysts, by advocates like yourself. There is someone out there who's still planning, or who has made up his or her mind that, look, as for me, I'm waiting for the highest bidder. What could possibly still be driving this mindset? Now, I ask this question with the understanding of the fact that we have established that, yes, hunger has been weaponized in the country. Now, I feel, or there is a need to understand that it gets to a point where one says, look, I'm tired. And I know that if it would cost me, staying hungry to make the right decisions, then so should it be. But why do we still have people who are ready to engage in vote selling in the elections, one? And on the other hand, who takes most of the blame? The politicians who are ever ready, or the citizens who, by virtue of conditioning, right, or on the other case, the incentives, the incentivization, as it were, who takes more blame? I want you to have that in mind. We'll take a breather. When we come back, or have you speak on that?
Okay.
Akwaibu, please stay with us. You put your thoughts together as well. Tell me, why do you think your cousin, your friends are ever ready to sell their vote, even when we have a greater understanding of what it has cost us as Nigerians over years when we sell our vote? Why? Why is that the case? And why are some people still preparing to do that? And maybe, on the other hand, what do you think we can do differently this time around as Nigerians? Please stay with us.
XL 106.9 FM.
The new sound of a Quibom.
August Outpouring Night 2026. It's another night of an unforgettable encounter in God's presence. Theme: Joy in the Morning. Date: Friday 7th August 2026. Time: 9 p.m. till dawn. Venue: the prestigious Noah's Ark Auditorium, Two Lanes, Uyo. Ministering: Reverend and Pastor Mrs. Ntia I. Ntia, Udwak Itwen, Etienne Udosen, Balo Basi, Roslyn Echeta, Esther Christopher, and Godswill Basi. Come believing, come expectant, come receive all that God has for you. Full Life Christian Center, steering men into the fullness of God.
Daniel Joseph Academy, a government-approved co-educational boarding secondary school located at Ikorakan in Srubium, local government area of Akwa Ibom State, holds our 2026 holiday camp at the school premises from Sunday, August 9th, 2026 to Saturday, August 29th, 2026. The holiday camp is for students going into SS1, SS2, and SS3 in September 2026. This is a 3-week intensive academic program designed to prepare candidates for the upcoming WAEC, NECO, and JAM examinations. Students from other schools can also attend the camp. At Danjo, we place emphasis on good academic performance and impactful spiritual content. For further details, kindly contact the principal on 0703 503 4414, 0703 503-4414 or 0802-478-7324. 0802-478-7324. Daniel Joseph Academy, a government-approved co-educational boarding secondary school located at Ikorakan in Srubium, local government area of Akwa Ibom State, holds our 2026 holiday camp at the school premises from Sunday, August 9th, 2026 to Saturday, August 29th, 2026. The holiday camp is for students going into SS1, SS2, and SS3 in September 2026. This is a 3-week intensive academic program designed to prepare candidates for the upcoming WAEC, NECO, and JAM examinations. Students from other schools can also attend the camp. At Danjo, we place emphasis on good academic performance and impactful spiritual content. For further details, kindly contact the principal on 0703 503 4414, 0703 503-4414 or 0802-478-7324. 0802-478-7324. Daniel Joseph Academy, a government-approved co-educational boarding secondary school located at Ikorakan in Srubium, local government area of Akwa Ibom State, holds our 2026 holiday camp at the school premises from Sunday, August 9th, 2026 to Saturday, August 29th, 2026. The holiday camp is for students going into SS1, SS2, and SS3 in September 2026. This is a 3-week intensive academic program designed to prepare candidates for the upcoming WAEC, NECO, and JAM examinations. Students from other schools can also attend the camp. At Danjo, we place emphasis on good academic performance and impactful spiritual content. For further details, kindly contact the principal on 0703 503 4414, 0703 503-4414 or 0802-478-7324. 478-7324. From Sunday, August 9th, 2026 to Saturday, August 29th, 2026. The holiday camp is for students going into SS1, SS2, and SS3 in September 2026. This is a 3-week intensive academic program designed to prepare candidates for the upcoming WAEC, NECO, and JAM examinations. Students from other schools can also attend the camp. At Danjo, we place emphasis on good academic performance and impactful spiritual content. For further details, kindly contact the principal on 0703 503 4414, 0703 503 4414, or 0802 478 7324, 0802 478 7324. Daniel Joseph Academy. Diligence with integrity and favor. Signed, Management.
When we speak, we inspire. When we share, we connect. When we listen, we understand. Together, let's build tomorrow. XL 106.9 FM. Radio for a better tomorrow.
Welcome back, Akwa Ibom Stage, Nigeria. Thank you very much for staying with us on the talk on XL 106.9 FM Super Breakfast Show. IG is my name, and of course, I've got citizen Matthew O'Connor, who's right here, and we are discussing the price of a vote. Why Nigerians still sell their future one election at a time. And I did raise a question before we took a breather. I crave your indulgence once again, citizen MKO. There is something Atiku Abubakar said. Let me quickly get that clip off for a bit.
Your vote is far more valuable than any amount of money a politician can offer. Do not exchange 4 years of your future for one afternoon of the inducement. A bag of rice will disappear. A few thousand naira will be spent. A campaign t-shirt will eventually fade. But the consequences of electing incompetent leadership will remain with you long after the campaign has ended. When you sell your vote, you are not merely exchanging a ballot paper. You are surrendering opportunities that belong to your generation. You are surrendering better schools, better hospitals, safer communities, reliable electricity, more jobs, stronger economy, and a government that truly works for everyone.
And that is Atiku Abubakar 2026. There is a Peter Obi 2025 at a time where Anambra elections were still up and in the conversation.
My name is Peter Obi. My personal experience is that democracy is deteriorating in our country. Unfortunately, those who are the victim of bad governance seems to be fueling it. I've been able to go, listening and around on what is happening. What you see is that predominantly vote buying to the scale of 20, 30,000, 15,000. The question I ask, for a young person who is unemployed, if he says his vote for 30,000, what is he going to be paid next month when there's no voting? By selling your vote, you're selling no school, no hospital, no job. You're selling away your future. And that is what is very worrisome. Other countries, even West African countries that are close to us, we have observed the election. I didn't see this happening. So for you people who are journalists, you must cooperate. This must be stopped.
Okay, Citizen MKO.
Yes.
You can lend your thoughts to the question I asked earlier on, which is why do we still have this on? Why do we have someone somewhere now who's still preparing or who has made up his or her mind?
Yeah.
Now look, me, I will make sure I go for the highest bidder who pays me, and then knowledgeable of the resultant effect that comes years after.
Yeah.
Why do we still have that play out, and how do we escape that?
First is that we need to apportion blames where we need to. We need to identify where the problems are and try to solve it. The most guilty in this, whether vote selling or vote buying, which I wouldn't want to use that term. I'm still looking for a term to use because what is the worth of somebody's soul? You are selling your soul? No. like we read in the Bible, Esau, Jacob, plate of porridge. No, it's worse than that. It is actually an insult on any soul for somebody to want to induce you to vote for him or her, not because he has something to offer, but because he has the money. And not just the money, that money is backed up with intimidation, because we must not forget this. When election come, politicians make budgets for vote buying. But guess which one they make even higher budgets that sometimes are not known? For security. They call it security. When you hear boys, they are talking about people who will be sure that those who are not ready to be bought must be beaten up or intimidated, not allowed to vote. Even if they vote, in some cases, they void your vote. That's not the story for today. We've been around and we know how these things are done. But the summary is that it's an insult on anybody's soul to vote for anyone against his conscience. Then who is at greater fault? It is the supposed leaders. A leader is God's representative at any level. And you cannot be a leader if you are not exceptional. And the day you cease to be exceptional in doing good, you cease to be a leader. And anybody that parades himself as a leader but is not leading is worse than a suicide bomber. The person is a fraudster, is a criminal, is a terrorist. He can do anything to keep that power because of the gains. Even in the scripture, I'm a Christian and people have what they believe, and I don't know of any religion that will clearly tell somebody do evil, you'll be rewarded, except in some very clear cases. Yes, they are very clear cases. There's a scripture here in Ezekiel 34:2-4, and verse 10. It says, woe to the shepherds of Israel, call it Nigeria, wherever you are, can be your Israel, who only take care of themselves. You have not strengthened the weak or healed the sick. So I am against the shepherd, and I will hold them accountable for my flock. The judgment of the Creator is first on the leader, because a leader deserves double honor, and when he fails, he takes double punishment. And here's the worst part, which I have personally experienced, is the fact that the sin of a leader, the punishment, is placed on the people. If you allow your leader to sin, to do wrong, the citizens suffer the consequence. It's practically what we are experiencing. So, in the time of Stalin, we read it. People can fact check whether real or imaginary, but the man had the image that this had to be said about him. Stalin was the leader of the Soviet Union, and they said in the 30s, he came to a Politburo meeting. And when we were talking, he asked for a chicken and then unplugged a chicken feather one after the other. The chicken was bleeding, plugging it, he did not care, and later dropped the chicken on the ground and then just threw grains, put some in his hands, and the bleeding chicken came back and was pecking, feeding on the grains. And what was the lesson he was telling the cabinet members? This is how you treat citizens. No matter what you do to them, when you have stripped them of their humanity, their dignity, their everything, no matter the bleeding, no matter the crying, they still come back to you. Satan is an apprentice. When you have a leader that is about self and does not know that every level of leadership is God's representative, that is the problem. And guess what? Like I said earlier, democracy in Nigeria is not making progress. It has degenerated to what I called, let me put it this way, monarchical democracy, where anybody that emerges becomes the be-all and end-all. And the only institution that should represent the people, which is the legislature, like we've seen, state, national. Have you not seen? Even our son is the chairman of the National Assembly. But the kind of things we see and hear, I pray for him because he did well while he was here. He has his own feelings, yes, but I tell you, he did well. But it is not the same person that we knew that is there now, because when you see a National Assembly that could stand up to sing, standing on a president's mandate, and they even went to the judiciary, a whole judges, they had their meeting, and somebody was, let me use the term, wicked enough to play that tune. And judges stood up to sing a political anthem for a leader who is more or less like a monarch. It is unbelievable, unacceptable. It is an indictment on our generation, and I stand as a messenger of God to say, God, forgive us. We need to get it right. The people are like that chicken in the hands of Stalin. Even if you are running a business or you are doing something to contribute to society, and somebody who has been promoted beyond his capacity sees and feels uncomfortable with you, they will stop your business. They will stop even your advocacy. They will try to stop you because everybody must be a praise singer. And when people look at those who should speak up, that they have been silent, they become helpless. It is only intellectual revolution because, one, I keep on saying this because I know it is true.
Okay.
1 million praise singers, 1 million sycophants. And guess what? We use the term propaganda. I used to use it as well. Like people are doing propaganda until a diplomat told me, you see what's going on in Nigeria, even in Akwa Ibom State? It's not propaganda. Do you know what it means to do propaganda? You will talk and people will believe you. Because you've put it so well, they will believe the lie. But these ones, they can't even tell a lie. They are not even intelligent enough to do what they feel they are being paid to do. So propaganda is not even there. Maybe we need to also research. We need to do more about that. But a diplomat, and a very seasoned one, told me, I said, yeah, what's propaganda? These people, use the word mumu. So what we are trying to do now, what we are doing on this program, which we've been doing every day, is to educate citizens. Never allow anybody to come to you with a title, with an office, with influence to manipulate you. Don't rate anybody by his office or position. Rate everybody by what they do, not what they say or who they say they are or who even they are. Because some of us are even lucky to be alive.
Do you think we can ever change the narrative of vote buying in this country?
Absolutely.
What would it take?
We've seen, was it not even the North? You know, one of the areas, like I said, they are peculiar, various localities have their peculiar nature.
Right.
When people, even though it's been affected badly now, the sense of pride and integrity that we have, no way is honest. It's been eroded. Our traditional values have been terribly, terribly eroded. We are working on it. But go to the North. The North has held power more than any other section in the country, from military, in fact, from our independence through the military and civilian, put all of them together. North has held more power. But guess the poorest part of this world? It is the North.
Yeah.
And guess who tried to save the North by curing one of the greatest maladies, the Almajiri system? Good luck, Ebele Jonathan. He was hated for trying to educate their citizens, their children, because the Almajiri system gives them ready army, both for those who are religious extremists and for those who want to do zakat. They will need to have people to be doing zakat is alms giving, which is part of a spiritual things you need to do. I can't forget the book, The Beggar Strike. When beggars strike, rich people were looking for beggars to give because they have to fulfill their spiritual obligation and all of that. Now, somebody, after Jonathan was defeated, went onto the world stage and said, we defeated him with the vote of the Almajiris. What are the Almajiris? Little children who don't know left from right, but they can be bought with just maybe biscuits. Would go a long way for them to do wonders. So if people could use and abuse children to vote in an election, not because they were paid, like we talk about vote selling. What do they know about vote selling? They are just happy to be there in the line. I'm not even sure what did they even give to these Amajeris. But
so generally speaking, what will it take for us now?
It takes education. Beyond education, indoctrination, because politicians have indoctrinated, and we need to be able to counter such. We must rise above just social education. The greatest meeting that ever held under the Asiwaju Bola Tinubu administration, Mr. President administration, the greatest meeting where the two parties were honest to a fault, took place a few days ago when the Catholic bishops went and they got approval. Either they were the one that wrote, which I don't believe they wrote, because they have been doing that to all the presidents, all the head, including Abacha.
Right.
They told truth to power. And Mr. President was honest enough to tell them who he is and what he believes in. And if what you heard cannot reset your brain, it means people will have to watch out, because you are a danger to society.
So as we get to round off, what message would you have Nigerians take to the elections and even after the elections next year?
The message is that don't allow anybody to influence their judgment, to do something against your soul. You may never be able to recover or even forgive yourself. It does not matter if you are going to walk alone. Nobody is ever alone. Like you said, we are not just religious people, we are spiritual people. I don't do religion. I'm a spiritual person. One with God is majority. And like I said earlier, 1 million psychophants cannot withstand just one truth. 1 million, even if it's trillion, they can't withstand one truth. It would neutralize it. Going forward, we need the country to be better. We are so blessed. We are so blessed that even those that loot this country, those that have more than what they ever need in 7 lifetimes, they are shocked why they allow them to keep on doing what they are doing. And one of them, is late now, told me, he said, MKO, if people know what we are stealing, they will lynch us alive. He's gone now. But he was so shocked. Yeah, in this state. He was so shocked. If people know, if citizens know how much they are stealing, they will lynch them. And I tell you, Isaac Duguda on national global TV said his friend during the fuel subsidy stuff came to him and said, go and tell Mr. President, let him stop them from making money. The money we are making is too much. You can fact check that. These people themselves, they are looking for help. And we must help them, not for them alone, but for ourselves. Because we can't continue like this. Absolutely, we cannot continue like this.
All right. Indeed. Yes. Citizen Matthew O'Connor, we thank you for your thoughts and insights this morning on the conversation. A very crucial and critical one at that.
Thank you very much.
And we hope that as Nigerians, we take a different path towards this concept we've brought to bear this morning. Once again, thank you for being here this morning.
My pleasure always. Thank you.
On Akwa Ibom State, perhaps I say, democracy does not die only when elections are rigged, right? Perhaps again, I say, democracy only dies or also dies when you and I, citizens, Nigerians, begin to believe that our votes, your votes, are worth less than our future, your future. That's perhaps when democracy dies. Because in truth, no politician, right, has ever become wealthy by buying votes. 1. Politicians, we understand, recover those investments through the machinery of government. You've had this debate time and time again, right? The person who receives 5,000 naira at the polling unit may feel richer for a day, who knows, for an hour, depending on your spending appetite. But if that transaction helps produce 4 years of poor governance, then the cost is ultimately borne not by the politician, but by every citizen, you and I, went ahead to sell our votes. Now, this is the paradox of our beautiful Nigerian democracy. So we get to complain about the quality of governance, yet we seldom interrogate the quality of the electoral processes, the choices made by us, citizens, that produce it. So I say again this morning, as we round off, that the future of our democracy, this lovely democracy, will depend not only on what the politicians are willing to offer, but on what we are willing to refuse as a people. Again, I restate, there's the high possibility of this conversation, of you being tempted to take this as one of those conversations on vote buying. I tell you, it is not. Thank you so much for being a part of the talk on XL 106.9 FM. This is the voice of the Supreme Character. You can call me IG. Please keep listening to XL 106.9 FM. Good morning, Nigeria.
XL 106.9 FM, radio for a better tomorrow. XL 106.9 FM, radio for a better tomorrow. XL 106.9 FM, radio for a better tomorrow.
106.9 powered to XL.
When we speak, we inspire.